Hi, welcome to The Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 108 coming at you today. It's a big episode. We got a lot going on. We're playing a little bit of catch up. It's been a slow time in sports. We've had some trips. So we've just kind of bunched a whole bunch of stuff in and we're getting hyped for football season, college football, NFL football. We're going to talk about the Lions today. Fair amount of catch up. And then this is a big movie number 2. Like we've been talking about this for a little while.
No, we haven't. About 3 days.
No, we talked about it a little while ago. Yeah, no, when we watched Get Out a little while ago, that was like, man, everybody knows. When I talk about it, okay, if you haven't seen the movie Get Out, go watch it. If you have, there's a great character. He's not the lead character, but it's Rod, his buddy. That's a great supporting character and not as well known as the other guys, but we got a number 2 draft. Isaac and I each have good lists.
Correct.
To clarify, this is a little bit similar to Michael Jordan's flu game. And by no means am I Scottie Pippen. I'm Isaiah Thomas. But you're Michael Jordan flu. Isaac's not 100%. He's got a couple of nasal things, sore throat. But he's going to tough it out.
I'll be okay.
But if he has to step away for a moment or two, I will happily carry the load because my shoulders are huge.
You're him.
I'm him.
It's a little flu game. I'll be okay. Just so don't be concerned. I'm still Batman. I'm still him. We'll be okay. Might have to step away to blow the nose, but I'm sure it'll be okay. And it's going to be a good episode. We've been gone for a month.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Like lots of sports trips.
Here's the thing. We were gone a month. Nothing happened in sports, but so much has happened in our lives. So let's kick things off with some off the tops. Tal, this episode will be a bit all over the place.
I think we need to talk about the GATL, the Greater Amherstburg Tennis League. There's at least 4 of our fans who participate in that league. Started with the Godfather, Bill Segrist in Amherstburg.
That's my guy.
There's like 230 people in the league now, all over the place, all sorts of different divisions. My buddy and partner, Jay McGrory, he's on IR. He's got hip surgery scheduled for now October, but he was pretty limited. Okay. So young Buck came in and said, okay, we're going to play tennis. He had hit a few times with us, never served in his life, never played a match in his life. And I am pretty limited still. I've got obviously I've had shoulder issues for a long time, but a bad knee.
Yeah.
So we went in a division that's probably a tad lower than we should have.
Because we had a dude who's got a lot of lingering injuries.
And somebody who never played.
So
we show up, and I'm limping. I got braces all over the place, and he's dressed like a basketball player and looks like a basketball player. Thanks. And let me cut to the end. We are currently 7-0 in first place. We're the number 1 seed in our division. The streak continues. People see us and they're like, we should be able to beat you guys.
For a couple reasons. One, he's got do you know how Michael Jordan wore elbow pads and knee pads and wrist guards? Tal's got all of those. He's got everything. So he looks like he's injured and then he walks like he's injured. And then I wear baggy Under Armour basketball shorts and a stupid shirt and they think I'm just like Billy Hoyle from White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
And we're hustling everybody so far, respectfully.
Yeah, but now people know.
Yeah, words got out. Not a lot of people want to play us anymore.
Yeah, people have been ducking us. So what we do is I try and play baseline, just hit lots of ground strokes, lobs, hits. I can hit ground strokes all day. Actually, my serve has been pretty good lately, too.
Respectfully, facts.
Isaac just serves a little kiss right over the net, and then as soon as he can, he moves into the dunker spot at the net. And for those of you that are not familiar with the dunker spot in tennis, he just gets up there. And now he's not slamming them home. He's just tipping them in the right spots.
We call that pro touch in basketball.
Pro touch, yeah. Lots of pro touch shots. So people don't know how to play us because I hit ground strokes all day.
All day.
And he's in the dunker spot.
Yeah.
We've had some good matches, and we still Pat Sau. He's the only other undefeated team in, Andre or something.
Okay.
They've been ducking us, but we're going to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, they for real.
They're like Buck and Duck.
Yeah, that's too deep cut. Any more tennis?
If anybody knows who Buck and Duck is other than Coach Rob, please let us know.
Okay, any more tennis thoughts?
Nope.
Okay, keep going. What else, Jeff?
Toledo road trip. Isaac and his cousins met Trae Young.
Shout out Colin, shout out Noah, shout out the whole Allsop gang. Went to Toledo, saw Mudhens game, bumped into Trae Young. For those who saw the Instagram story, you understand that reference. Not for real Trae Young, but looked like Trae Young. It was a really good trip. It was a really good trip.
Yep.
Shout out the Allsops.
So we had a great family trip planned in New York, just squeezing a weekend. I switched jobs.
I was going to say, I wrote that. Do we want to talk about this? Or is that enough?
I think we can talk. Why don't you talk about it?
Well, no, you do the New York bit. I meant your job.
Okay, so I'll talk about the New York bit and you can talk about my job.
That doesn't make any sense because it's your job. And I went to New York.
Well, let me lead up to New York and then you can finish New York.
Okay.
So Daniela and Isaac leaving on Thursday. Alex and I leaving Friday just because of work stuff. They get there, a couple of delays, that kind of stuff, but they figured it out. Alex and I go to the airport Friday night. Delay. Flight's canceled. Now it's Friday, 10:30 p.m., and we have to be back at like 9 p.m. Sunday evening.
We got work on Monday morning.
We got work Monday morning. We're going to go to work, just like the Pistons. Going to work. Detroit's going to work. Chooter's going to work. So, anyway, Alex and I are trying to look at flights all over the place.
Alex.
Sister Alex. Like, the best option was for us to take a 5:45 a.m. flight from Detroit to Orlando, and then Orlando back to New Jersey and hitchhike into New York. We realized we're cashing our chips. We're not going to New York. So Danielle and Isaac did the New York trick. Take over.
So I just wrote shout out Ma for W weekend. She was upset that we didn't have the whole gang, and obviously I was, but I'm kind of like a go. So I'm like, look, they're not coming. We got to figure it out. We just got to do it. So
Shake off.
Make the best of it, meaning I was going to go to a Mets game with Dad. That means Ma went to the Mets game with me. We saw Justin Verlander's last game as a Met.
Which is cool.
From seats that, let's just say, that we didn't exactly have. Respectfully.
Wait a sec. Were Val and Isaiah?
Yeah,
no, it wasn't Val.
Yeah.
It must have been...
It's okay. We had good seats.
Danny.
We had good seats. Then another thing. She had these super tickets to some Sweeney Todd play. And I'm like, she had already bought them. Sister Alex was going to go.
The best pies in London?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're not wasting this ticket. I'll go to the play with you. So I saw the play with her. Back to the Future. I planned on going to that regardless. Sick play. Shout out Back to the Future. Movie's sick. We'll probably talk about that later.
Yep.
I will, at least.
For sure.
So I saw two plays. She saw a baseball game. There's a big UFC event, Gaethje and Poirier. I brought her to a bar at like 1 a.m. We watched the fights with random dudes. Like, it was sick.
Like, seriously, New York, the city that never sleeps? Like, it might sleep for about 45 minutes from 4 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. Then it gets rolling again.
So I won't do a bit, because this is a whole other segment. My travel adventures getting to New York were
pretty good.
It was a little controversial. I wrote the times down. I was in I touched down from my flight around 1:30 a.m. after lots of flights, so lots of delays, and I didn't arrive.
Delays, so you're able to watch more Shohei.
I have a bit on that later. Yeah. I didn't arrive to the hotel at 3:15 a.m. I had two options: $60 Uber from airport to hotel, $2.75 for public transportation from airport to hotel. You guys can guess what I did.
$2.75.
I spent an hour and a half. I spent $3, and I got there safely, barely, but safely. And we won't do too much more on that because it gets a little dicey, a little controversial. But we made it alive and all good. So that's the New York bit.
Okay. I was able to go to Toronto to see my buddies. Played some good tennis at the ORC, which is actually my favorite club in Canada, the Ontario Racket Club. Sweet. I like Toronto lawn tennis, but I don't think I'm polished enough to be a member at the ORC.
Okay.
No, at Toronto lawn.
Let's talk about...
So then we went to watch the Canadian Open, which is like the National Bank. Those guys are beasts. Like professional tennis players, they're freak shows.
Correct.
Completely different sport.
Professional tennis is something that I would like to see, as now we're tennis guys.
Yep, we're tennis guys.
You used to just be tennis guy. Now we're tennis guys.
Tennis guys.
So shout out tennis, shout out Toronto, shout out Urban Paul, who sent me a picture of you sleeping at the tennis event. So
I did take a little nap.
Yeah. Okay, because all the content I got from your Toronto trip, you sent me like two weird pictures of like restaurant signs, and your buddy sent me a picture of you asleep. That's my knowledge.
Urban Paul's rocking.
Okay, anything else on TO?
Nope.
Okay, I'll do a bit. Shout out the whole Albano family. Went up north with my buddy Amadeo Albano and his two siblings and his parents. So shout out the whole crew for having me. Spent a whole week with them. It was great.
Albano family rocks.
Yeah,
like,
they're
there's
cracked.
so many boxes that they check. They're just cool. Like doctors, smart, fix people, sweet artists, sympathetic, nice.
They're great people.
Cool.
Yes, great people. I was an honorary Albano for a while. We had no service most of the trip, so totally off the grid. No Wi-Fi.
Which is the first time you've ever been that way.
Yeah, so we were an hour away from cell service, essentially. So the one thing down, I said, hopefully we don't get hurt, because if we do, it's going to be tough. So lots of exploring, lots of kayaking.
Did you learn Morse code?
No, but I'll talk about that in a minute, because in Estella. Okay. Exploring, kayaking, fishing, hiking, poker, lots of sauna, pool, darts, late night movies, which we'll talk about. Do you know hunter-gatherer? Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
Like, we were hunter-gatherers for long stretches. We just explored islands.
Civilization was a hunter-gatherer until about 3,000 years ago.
And we went back to hunter-gatherer, and we didn't see any other civilizations, but we may have started one.
Here's the question.
Okay.
If you or Amadeo would have been injured, would you have been left there to die, or would the community have taken care of you?
Community being who?
The Albanos or Chudner Albano.
Yeah, we would have been.
Because that's kind of the definition of when a society started to get true. If somebody was injured, they would actually save them. In the past, they'd be like, sorry, you're dead.
Yeah, we would have figured it out. We brought enough goldfish to get us through when we went adventuring. Like, we rationed and we're like, hey, 2 granola
You mean
bars.
fish crackers?
No, goldfish. Yeah, fish crackers.
Oh, okay.
Like, we had 2 granola bars and a goldfish, and we went out for the day, and we're like, okay, if we get lost, we can probably get 9 days out of this. We can ration for 9 days.
And you could drink water and live a long time. And if you had to, you could cut off a body part, like a leg.
Shout out 127 hours.
Yeah, 127 hours.
We unlocked a lot of nature badges, so that's my up north bit. Thanks to the Albanos for taking me in. You can go a bit more.
I think we've done enough Chudner stuff for now. Let's talk about a little bit of things that happened in the sports world over the last 3 weeks.
When do you want me to do a movie bit? Because I have a thing on some movies.
Why don't we do that prior to the number 2 draft?
Okay, but give me a few minutes on it.
Fair enough.
We'll need some. All right.
That's fair enough.
Okay,
NBA Summer League. Just 2 points. One, Wemby is a freak. Just a freak. He's going to be so much fun to watch for the next few years.
Few?
Yep. 10. Okay. And then, am I saying this right? Asar Thompson?
Asar
Thompson?
Yeah, A. Thompson.
He's going to be a really good all-around player. Once he develops his shot, he's going to be him. The Pistons are still not going to be great this year, except for that guy, Cade Cunningham. And he's getting hype from people outside of Ontario and Michigan. Like the Clippers are talking about him. He was taken... So, for people that don't know, Team USA gets a team to be able to compete in the World Championships.
Doing all this, okay.
And they get like a young team to help run with them to give them some good competition. Cade decided he didn't want to play in the Team USA team because he wanted to focus on the Pistons. So he just was the leader of the young team. He was the best player on the court. He's taken him to school. And everybody was saying that. And now they're running at Rico Hines in Los Angeles with the Clippers.
Rico Hines, very, very like prolific runs that you hear about in
And
NBA.
everybody's talking about him there. Not Pistons fans, not Isaac and I and Dale and people like that. Like just NBA insiders like, man, Cade is him.
Cade's getting a lot of love. I didn't know we were doing 3 minutes on the Pistons 2-3 months before the season starts, but that's cool. I like the Pistons. What else do you have? Do a little bit on Jim Harbaugh, but not a ton.
Jim Harbaugh.
Just a little.
Okay, Michigan, shout out hat.
Shout out hat?
Yeah, shout out, good Michigan hat.
But you don't say shout out hat. That's just not how people talk.
Shout out to my outfit and your outfit. Both look good.
Yeah, fit
I'm
check.
more blue. He's more red burgundy.
Yep.
So Jim Harbaugh and Michigan Wolverines have a really good team this year. They are stacked. I am getting tired of Jim Harbaugh's flirting with the NFL, that kind of stuff. This is what I want. Harbaugh, run it this year. Do a great job. Be smart. Trust JJ. And make it to the championship game and get your butt kicked by Georgia. I'm okay with that. Then you're done. Then it'll be a little bit of a rebuild because you got a lot of seniors and guys that are going to go. But Harbaugh, this is your last year. You're done after this.
Yeah, I'm a Michigan guy. Not a Harbaugh. Like, I'm not... Like, people are Harbaugh guys. I'm a Michigan guy. And if Harbaugh's my coach, let's do it. I don't like the NFL stuff like you talked about, but I'm very much looking forward to this Michigan year. My Michigan insider, Albert, says this is probably the best team we've had in a really, really long time.
Since 1997.
That's Chuck Whitson's Rose Bowl, right? Yeah. Yep. That's pretty good knowledge, right?
That's pretty good.
So let's go blue, but we'll talk about them a little bit more later.
Okay.
I have no more off the top, so I have my movie bit, but you want to save that.
Let's talk about the Lions.
Okay.
So the Kool-Aid hype train is a little out of control, and we're going to do our comparisons of win-losses in a little bit. There's so much hype. Let's talk about the things that the Lions are really solid. Real solid offensive line. Their running back tandem will be one of the best in the NFL. Wide receiver, tight end, solid. Defense, I know everybody's talking about it. We've got some good guys, but I still think we're going to give up a lot of points and a lot of yards. I don't think we'll have a top 15 defense.
Well, last year I think they were bottom 5 defense in a lot of the advanced stats. So
but if we're top 7 or 8 offense and 15 or 16 defense, I'm okay with that. See, a lot of that depends on, right, if you get out to a big, 20-point lead and then you give up a bunch of yards and it's just late fourth quarter stuff that doesn't matter. That does skew the numbers a little bit. Just a couple of things. Penei Sewell is going to hurt people this year. He's just fun to watch, and it's fun to hear training camp discussion about him. Goff is slightly above average, and I'm okay with that. We need to talk about Amon-Ra, the monster. He got a little dinged up at practice today. JMO, I'm not sure what the deal is, why he's getting so much flack. It's partially his fault, but he is a concern at this point. Do you agree with that?
I'm mildly concerned. I think the media is making it a bigger deal than it is, and now that's you making a bigger deal than it is saying that. Respectfully, facts.
Yep.
I am a little worried, for sure. But I still think my buddy met him. Shout out to Andrew. He met him and said he was a super good dude and just talked to fans for like an hour.
Nice.
I'm concerned about JMO, but mildly. I'm not gonna panic yet.
A couple more points on offense. Teddy Bridgewater, a nice backup to have, and he's one of those vets who's going to help with.
I'll do a bit on Teddy.
Yeah, go nuts.
I don't know if you've heard anything that he's said in his pressers. He looks so happy to be here, and all the comments are like, we've never seen a backup quarterback this pumped to be a backup quarterback in Detroit. He's always smiling, he's always joking. He was always a really good dude.
Yep.
I even remember that in Minnesota. He was always just this really likable guy, and I love having him in this locker room. He's wearing number 50 for now, which I think is
What's the deal there?
I don't know, but it's a power move. It's so cool.
I love it.
I'm usually anti-goofy numbers, but that is so out there. I think it's cool. Because he's a quarterback, right? Like, it's like seeing an edge rusher wear 5, looking at you, Kayvon Thibodeau, you punk. I don't like that. But a quarterback wearing 50, Teddy Bridgewater wearing 50, that's a boss move.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else on the Lions here?
Laporte, the tight end.
I think it's Laporta, dude.
Laporta. Laporta.
Right? Yeah, add the A, not the E.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. I don't know how much of an impact this year. Rarely do rookie tight ends have significant impact, but he needs to have significant impact in the first 6 games with JMO injured.
Rarely do tight ends have a significant impact. That's why I was a little hesitant on picking a tight end this high. We'll see if he's the man, but like you said, rookie tight ends. Just tight ends aren't focal points in offenses anymore. We don't even know if Mark Andrews is the man in Baltimore anymore because they've got a bunch of new receiver weapons. I like Laporta, but again, like it was early second we picked him. That's high for a tight end, and there's other ones better, supposedly after him. We'll talk about Jack Campbell. I don't know if you have anything on him.
I do. I'm talking about offense right now. Do you have anything else with offense?
Nothing more on offense other than Jahmyr Gibbs is Alvin Kamara, and he's going to be sick.
Oh, he's a beast.
He's going to be sick.
And he's going to line up at wide receiver. He's going to run. He's fast. Holy
He's Alvin
smokes.
Kamara. He plays so much like Kamara, and he moves a lot like him. That's my bit there.
And listen, you shouldn't expect anything more than 4 or 5 years out of a running back, but that's okay. Let's milk 4 or 5 years out of this guy.
Okay, cool. We're not going to do the running back bit because that already passed.
Nope.
Do you have anything on the defense?
I do, a fair amount.
Okay.
So Hutch is obviously, he's the guy. I'm a little worried about who's opposite him, right? Kaminsky, Pascal, James
Who was
Houston.
the first guy? Come on, bro.
Hutchinson.
Yeah, who'd you say after that?
Kaminsky?
There you go. Better the second time.
Yeah, okay. There you go. So, shout out to the fans here. We're just a little photo op. Listen, Houston, I don't think he's going to have 7.5 sacks. He had a good last half of the season. They're still a little light on the defensive line. Akeem McNeil is pushing people around. Aleem, yeah. So Levi Onwuzurike, I think I pronounced that correctly.
2 for 2. Now
is your time to step up. I heard you looked pretty good so far. If he doesn't do anything well in the first couple games, they'll cut him.
He's already on the roster bubble. I think he'll make the roster, but he is on the roster bubble.
Yeah, he's on the bubble. But the point is, they just don't have a ton of depth on the defensive line. Linebacker core, solid, not spectacular, but it does show that they've moved to a point where there's actually competition. Campbell's going to get tons of tackles. He can move. He can cover a little bit, which is cool. But you've got Alex Anzalone, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Derek Barnes. You're a big Derek Barnes fan. They don't need that many linebackers. Most of the time, they only need 2, and Campbell's going to be one of them. So I think sometimes they may line up Barnes
rarely
as a stand-up where they put 5 guys on the defensive line. But Malcolm Rodriguez and Anzalone, trade one of those guys. I don't know.
Definitely won't be. Did you say trade Rodrigo or Anzalone? That's a bad take. Neither of them are getting traded. Rodrigo's on his 2nd year of a rookie deal, and Anzalone they just extended. So they're not going to trade either of them, respectfully.
Well, one of them is not going to get a lot of playing time unless there's an injury.
Correct. Anzalone they like as a captain locker room guy.
Okay. DBs have a huge turnover. Adding Gardner Johnson, Sutton, Mosley. There's a couple of question marks there, but they should work out well because you got some talent. Safety, you've got Kirby Joseph, Emmanuel Mosley. who plays some safety.
Correct.
And Brian Branch. Did you see any clips of him in the first game?
We, for the small bit that we had Wi-Fi up north, we watched some of the lines.
Just all over the field.
But Brian Branch looked great. That was one of the ones where it was like, why did this guy fall so much? And we still don't really know. And he was really upset that he fell.
Good.
And
be mad.
He looked
be
great.
mad at the world for 5 years.
They've got all these super versatile DBs like you talked about. Even like Gardner Johnson. He can play all over the field. And Tracy Walker. People aren't talking
about Tracy Walker, yeah.
This guy was a captain. He was like the best player on our defense for a bit.
He was good. He was mostly injured last year, right?
I think it was Achilles basically the whole year. Yeah. They have a lot of DBs now. Most of them are new, like you said. We'll see how they work out, right? No more Okuda, respectfully to him. No more.
5th round draft pick. That's all we got for him.
Stop. It's okay. He got hurt in Atlanta too. So sorry,
I know
Okuda.
he did.
I'm rooting for him now. I have no ill will against him. Amani, Aurora,
I have a little bit.
Okay. Hughes, Elliott. They let a lot of these secondary guys that just didn't perform. They let a lot of them go. So it's good to see all these new faces. I hope they work out.
I agreed.
Anything else?
No, do you want to go through the win-loss and just kind of see where we're at?
Very briefly, we like to make fun of ESPN analytics. I have a couple ESPN analytics.
Okay, go ahead.
They gave us a chance to make the playoffs. I have the number on my paper. You don't. What do you think that number is?
63.1.
Did you look at my sheet, bruh?
No.
It's 65.
Whew, pretty good. That's your number?
That's ESPN number. I don't have a number. Then they gave us a percentage chance. We're not going to say the big game at the end of the year. We're not even going to use that word. They gave us a number to make the big game that starts with S. What's the percentage for that? It's higher than I thought.
21.
It's 10, which is higher than I thought.
Okay.
I expected to see well in the single digits.
I had said 16, which you said higher than I thought. I'm like, I got to bump it up.
But we're not even going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Week 1 Thursday Night Football, Thursday, September 7th, 2023 at Arrowhead.
Loss.
I agree. I have a loss down. We're going to go through every game and we'll see where our record stands. Loss at KC. Do you want me to do the games?
Yep.
Okay. Week 2, home versus Seattle.
Easy win.
I have win, but I circled 2 games that scare me. This scares me.
We saw Seattle last year when they scored about 11 billion points.
That was such a good game.
And the Lions scored 10 billion points. So it was close, but they lost.
That was like a 45-42 game or something like that.
48-46 or something.
Maybe.
It was one of those.
Scoregami.
Yeah, scoregami.
Seattle scares me. This offense scares me. And now they have Jackson Smith and Njigba. That scares me too.
He's going to be injured. He drives in. Once he comes into Michigan, airspace, injury.
Okay, respectfully good.
Ohio State sucks.
Week 3, home versus Atlanta.
Easy win.
Easy win. Week 4 at Green Bay.
Close loss.
I put down W, but like at Lambeau is just always going to scare me.
Yep.
Week 5, home versus Carolina.
Easy win.
Win, not easy. Remember last year, we're not going to talk about that game. That's why they didn't make the playoffs, because they blew it against Carolina where they gave up 450 billion
We were
rushing
listening
yards.
to it. We were driving.
We were driving to Florida.
We were driving to Florida, and it was just like, 12-yard gain, 14-yard gain, 12-yard gain, 28-yard gain.
No, it was like 15-yard gain, 60-yard gain,
It was
touchdown.
crazy.
We were really upset for that bit during the drive. So I have a win, but that's just scary to me. Week 6 at Tampa.
Actually, I have a win, but very close.
I have a win. Tampa still has guys. They still have a respectable team.
Yeah.
But
Who's their quarterback? Baker Mayfield?
it's going to be Baker. And he respectfully doesn't scare me.
No.
Week 7 at Baltimore.
Loss.
I have a loss as well. Week 8, Monday Night Football, hosting the Raiders.
That's the game we should try and go see. That's going to be a
Down.
gong show. Yeah. W.
Okay, I really want to go. All right.
Yep.
Week 9, bye week. W.
Yep.
Week 10 at the Chargers.
Blowout. They lose.
I have a loss, but I'm not saying blowout. That's no fun. Week 11, home versus Chicago.
I got a W.
So do I.
Yeah, it'll be close.
Week 12, home versus Green Bay.
Is that Thanksgiving? I think that's Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's
Yeah.
a win.
I have a win. I like having Green Bay on Thanksgiving.
Me too.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I'll try to go for like $25 with Adam again. We'll see if I can do that. Week 13 at New Orleans.
W.
I have an L.
Really? Okay.
New Orleans, they might like sneakily win that division this year. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, but they're going to win that division with 7 wins.
This might be one of the 7. I don't know. I wrote down L. It scares me.
Fair enough.
Week 14 at Chicago.
I'm going to win there.
I have a loss.
Okay.
I don't think we
I thought about it a little bit. I don't think Chicago's going to be very good. Fields is going to get beat up. Their offensive line is not very solid.
Correct.
I think by then, Fields is going to be on the sideline holding the clipboard.
My bit is really simple.
Who's their backup quarterback, do you know?
I don't know. My bit here is simple. Goff, I'm a Goff guy. He has not been good outside in cold weather. Like, I think his numbers are really, really bad.
Oh, this is like December, right?
And this is week 14 in Chicago, so I don't think the weather's going to be good, and we know how he is there. Sorry, respectfully to him. Week 15, home versus Denver. Win. That'll be interesting to see what
it should be really
state of Denver
I have no idea what's going to happen with Denver.
Yeah, I won't do a bit. Sean Payton is trying to be super alpha here, and I don't know. It's weird. Week 16 at Minnesota.
I've got a loss.
I have a loss.
You know what? They're going to have some defensive injuries. They're going to give up a lot of points.
Week 17 at Dallas.
I hate to say it. That's another loss.
It's 2 losses in week
Dallas
16
is a
17.
pretty tough squad.
Yeah, they're moderately tough. I don't. That defense is actually like good, and Micah Parsons is him, and that kind of scares me. Okay, week 18 time, week 18 time is TBD,
which I love.
And we're hosting.
For fans that don't know what that means, is there's a possibility that everybody's going to want to watch that game, so like they're going to flex it to the night game.
Hosting Minnesota, I will win.
I gotta win.
That might be like the biggest football game of my life. There's a very good chance that is for the division.
Yep.
Not to build that up too much. So briefly, last year we talked about every single game for the Lions started at either 1 or 12:35.
Yeah.
Right? Thanksgiving was 12:30. Every other game was 1. They had no 4:30 games. Primetime games this year. It's a lot. Week 1, Thursday Night Football. Week 4, Thursday Night Football. That's at Green
Bay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Week 8, that's hosting the Raiders, Monday Night Football. Week 12 is Thanksgiving. Week 17, at Dallas, that's Saturday Night Football.
Oh, that's fun. I love that.
And Week 18, hosting Minnesota, that's going to be for the division, and that's going to be Saturday or Sunday.
So 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's a lot going from 0/1
And there's
to
only
6.
a couple guys on the Lions that over the next couple years are getting worse. Just what everybody's getting better.
I agree with that. Good take. So I have the Lions at 10-7.
I have them at 11-6.
In a division?
And a division.
So hosting a playoff game.
Yep, hosting a playoff game.
Okay. All right. So we both have them making the playoffs, winning the division. I think 10-7 wins the North.
You might be right. Yeah.
And I have a couple there that like.
Yeah, I initially had them 10-7. Then I looked at it again, and I gave them the win. It was the at Chicago win.
Well, that's the one where I have a loss just because of the weather. But
yep.
we're very close here.
Close.
Great minds think alike. So now I will do a bit on movies here. Is that cool?
That's cool. Movies are like a big part of the show. And TV sucks generally now.
Dude, I've been saying that for a really long time.
Yeah, but I want to back up and reiterate Young Buck's points that TV generally sucks. So find good movies and watch them.
I won't do that actually is a debate because there are a lot of people my age especially that are just TV people.
What do they watch?
I can do a TV versus movie and I'll just express my opinions on why I'm team movie.
No, I'm serious. What do people watch on TV?
Any garbage that they can find on any of the
Wheel
streaming
of Fortune?
services. Not really, but any of the streaming service garbage that they pump out.
Okay.
So I watched a lot of movies past month at various times in various places with various people. I'm going to say a name. If you want to talk about it briefly, we will. Or you say keep it moving. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Oppenheimer.
Talk about it. Have not seen yet. No spoilers.
One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, for real. And I'm not one to say stuff like that.
Top 5, top 10.
Ever for me?
Yeah.
It's in that discussion. So Braden and Pedro, 2 of my guys. I think Braden has it at 5 ever, and Pedro might have it at 2.
I got to talk to Pedro about this.
And these are guys that don't hype up movies that don't deserve it. So Oppenheimer, it's a masterpiece. It's so good. It's just go and watch Oppenheimer. Barbie.
No.
Okay, good.
I don't think our fan base wants to hear about Barbie.
Good, respectfully. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I
want to keep it moving, but he wants to talk about it anyways.
It's so good. It's so good. I love cartoon movies.
For those people that are listening and not watching, I'm taking a pen and I'm sticking it in my eye.
Dude, don't do that, bro. Like John Wick 3. Teenage Mutant Ninja, it's a lot of fun, and it's super, super well done. It has a 96 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's like Oppenheimer territory. Like the critics, like the old dudes, they like this. So you would actually like it. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really good. Now we're going to go with some older movies. Interstellar.
Oh, let's talk about that one. Underrated.
Hadn't seen it for a little bit. Watched it when we were stargazing up north.
It's so smart. Like, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it really makes you think, and you never really know. You don't know how things work out the way they do.
And the way that things work out is unbelievable.
And it's a lot of it's theoretical, so it's not like there's no right answer.
No, but I remember like Kevin and I talked about this, and he did a bit of research, and I did a bit of research. There's a lot of foundation for the science that they used.
They had physicists on set. They had all these smart people working on the movie.
Yep.
So everything, every theory.
Well, imagine if you're like a super nerd theoretical physicist working at MIT or Stanford, and they call you up and say, "Hey, you want to hang out on a movie set for 3 months
with McConaughey and Chris Nolan?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Insidious.
What's the Chastain?
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain. I like her.
Yeah, she's good. I like her too. Insidious 5, The Red Door.
No.
Step Brothers.
Always.
Haven't seen it for like a couple months, so which is a long time. Watch it start to finish. Just watch Step Brothers, people. It's really good. Baby Driver.
Never seen it.
It's really solid. Might be Netflix. Solid movie that I like a lot, and I like more and more every time I see it. Django Unchained.
Always good.
Django, watch Django. If you don't like Django, you're racist. Fact.
True.
Okay. Old School.
Oh, so good.
One of the best comedy movies
Just
ever.
entertaining.
Shrek 1.
Very good. See, I normally make fun of Isaac and his buddies who like watching cartoon movies. I don't. I don't like watching cartoons. But Shrek is one of the ones that are like, man, that's good. And we watched it a lot when you were a kid.
Like Shrek 1
We watched a lot of movies. Then when you turned 4, I decided, okay, let's start watching real stuff.
Yeah, respect. Shawshank Redemption, I think it was 5. Shrek 2 I have to watch because a lot of people are Team Shrek 2. I'm currently Team Shrek 1.
Shrek 1.
So those are some movies there.
Which one is Shrek 2? Is that with the handsome...
Yeah, the prince.
Prince guy?
Yeah.
He's a jerk.
Okay, so those are some movies there. Great discussion. You got to watch Oppenheimer. And now you can set up best number 2s, even though you already did that earlier.
So about 3 weeks or so ago, Isaac and I were watching Get Out. Get Out's one of those movies when you're flipping through, you're like Shawshank, Get Out, one of the Rocky movies, where you keep watching it. And Rod, the friend, the CSA, what is he? He's TSA agent. He's a great character. He only doesn't get a ton of screen time, but it's a great example of supporting actor, character that doesn't have a ton of screen time, that it's just memorable and cool, and you want him at your side either to have a beer or get in a fight or rescue you or just have a laugh with him.
Yep.
So the character draft, the number 2 character draft, started from Rod from Get Out.
So these are the best Scottie Pippens in movies.
And well, does Scottie Pippen have a migraine, or does he not?
No, okay. Scottie Pippen, Joe Dumars to the Isaiah Thomas,
fair enough.
The Klay to the Steph.
Sorry, Ron Paul. Now, some of the characters are going to be very well known from big movies, and then there's also going to be a few like, oh, didn't really think about that one. Yeah, but that's a pretty good character. Like, not very well known and not a big blockbuster movie.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
I'll let you go first. There's a lot of guys.
Out of respect for the topic, I am going to pick Rod from Get Out. One of the things that I looked at when I was choosing, each one of them had to do something very memorable in that particular movie. And when Rod just rescues his buddy out of nowhere, that was awesome. So Rod from Get Out, you're my number 1 overall draft pick. Underrated. But I love him. He's great.
So they have to be good guys. They have to be on the same team.
Yeah, no bad guys.
It has to be the number 2 to the good guy number 1.
Or it could even be number 3.
Correct. So I'm going to say someone here, and you can think about it, and then you're going to be like, that's great. Apollo Creed. Give me Rocky 3, Apollo Creed.
Rocky 3, Apollo Creed, for sure.
Because he's full-on good guy. I can't do Rocky 4 because he dies 30 minutes into it. Spoiler alert. But Apollo Creed from Rocky 3 is a guy I want to have by my side.
He's a great guy.
My moment for this would be when Rocky's not really training good, and Apollo just snaps on him, and there is no tomorrow, and then it breaks into the beach scene, and then they have the nice hug on the beach.
That's a little weird. That hasn't aged terribly well.
So Apollo Creed is just my guy.
Then I got to follow up with that. Duke in Rocky 4.
Oh, wow. I did not have him on. Sell this one because this is deep.
If you're not a Rocky fan, you're probably not listening to the show. But
yeah.
So Duke trained Apollo forever, and it was almost like his dad. And one of the speeches, Duke talks about how Apollo was like a son to him, and I want you to live on his memory. I want you to respect him and kick that Russian's butt. So Duke in Rocky 4 is underrated. people probably didn't think about him. You're like, wow, he's a great character. And he beats the Russian guy chess, too.
That's right, yeah. He gets a fair amount to do in Rocky 4. That's one of the better things. When I rewatched Rocky 4, I forgot how much he was in it.
Yeah.
Post Apollo's death. He's great. Okay, so I'm going to go with one here that like everyone knows, and I'm going to pick it because this was like maybe the first name that I wrote down. Dale Doback from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
He is just such a good number 2. I have to call him Dragon on my team. This was when I think number 2.
You can debate that he's close to a number 1.
So we're gonna so Dale and I had this conversation, and we're like, as we were watching the movie, like, let's see who wins this scene. Who wins this scene, Will Ferrell or John C. Reilly? And while Will Ferrell still wins more, there's a lot of scenes where John C. Reilly wins the scene.
I agree with you. That's why I think
he's still a 2.
He's close to a number 1.
Dude, he's a 2. He's definitely a 2.
Okay.
He's a great number 2. Might be a Shaq Kobe bit here, but he's a great number 2.
Okay. I've got so many other good ones here. I'm going to go for one that's just fun and awesome. I'm going to pick Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Cliff, the stuntman, buddy. He's a guy you want by your side. Don't go to the hospital. Come tomorrow. Bring bagels. Like, so good and a great character.
And at the end, DiCaprio does like, "You're a good friend, Cliff," and Cliff goes, "I try."
Yeah,
he's a really good number 2. He won Best Supporting Actor, so you get some bonus points for that.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, Brad Pitt won for that, which is just cool. Like, Oscars suck, but the fact that they gave Brad Pitt that, say, good job.
Yeah.
Okay, simple here. Surprised you didn't pick him. I thought he might go first. Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid.
Yeah, I have him super high on my board. He just did so many great things. He's. You need something fixed, you call Miyagi. You need to fight 8 ninjas, you call Mr. Miyagi.
I needed to cancel out Dale Doback's silliness, so that's why I brought in Miyagi here. And Dale Doback does some kung fu, so this is going to work out really good.
True,
Not that we're fighting, but if we do, we'll be good.
Yep. Okay. I guess I'm going to steal one of yours. I got to go with Sergeant Al Powell from Die Hard. Right, the Twinkie guy. He can name all the Twinkie stuff and the speeches over the radio where he's pumping up. What was his nickname?
John McClane?
Yeah, no, John McClane, but what did he call himself?
Oh, Roy?
Yeah, Roy. Yeah, we're thinking about you, Roy. Like, and then he shoots the bad guy at the end. Sergeant Al Powell, actually, I thought he would be your number 1 pick.
He's
really a great character.
And this category is for guys like him.
This is the epitome of solid number 2s.
I'm going to go with Doc Brown here from Back to the Future.
Yeah, good pick.
He's a very good number 2. He has the brains to be a number 1, but he totally is number 2. Like, no doubt about it. It's Marty's movie. And we can time travel. I really like Doc Brown. I love Back to the Future.
The time travel thing is pretty helpful.
So give me Doc Brown.
Yeah. Okay, I got to go for a rest in peace. Just a solid actor, and you can even.
I know who you're going. I know who you're going.
Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. As soon as you said rest in peace, peace out, Robin Williams.
Yeah,
That's
Robin
my
Williams.
guy.
So many good things, and I was listening to Smart List the other day, and he set up a bunch of scholarships for kids to go to Juilliard that are don't have a lot of money to them. So, sorry, Robin, we missed you, but you did a great job in Good Will Hunting.
So I wrote down initially. I thought Ben Affleck, and then when I thought about Good Will Hunting for 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, Robin Williams, and he counts.
Listen, Ben Affleck was a great. You could say him, and I would support you.
Yeah, so Robin Williams, he got nominated for Best Supporting that year.
Okay.
That's peace out, Robin Williams. That's our guy. He's every time I watch Dead Poet Society is one that maybe.
Hair the back of your neck goes up.
Yeah. So I will go with. I got to go Star Wars here.
Sure.
And I'm looking at 2 guys. I'm gonna go with one that I remember most as a kid, and this is old Ben from the first Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi. A really great number 2. A really, really great number 2, who's definitely number 2. Well, Obi-Wan was the alpha in his prime. I get the old wise Ben.
Well, then I got to go back to back. I just got to grab Han Solo.
Oh, that's the wrong pick.
I had the little fella down.
I'd go with the little green guy.
Han Solo. Just when the movies first came out.
Okay, do a bit on this. Cool.
No, think about it. This is the 70s and the 80s, and there wasn't as much alien content as there was out there. They wanted that swashbuckling, tough guy, do anything, get your back guy, and he comes back. When Luke's just about to get destroyed by Darth Vader, who do you got? You got Han Solo flying back in. He could have left the fight and gone home and had beers and picked up chicks. Nope, he went back to maybe get his ass kicked, but he didn't. He came back to help with his buddy. So that's Han Solo. Shout out to the first 3 movies. All the other stuff after that, Yoda probably had a bigger role, but 70s and 80s, Han Solo.
So that's a great bit you did there. You sold me. When you were 8 years old and you saw Star Wars, who did you want to be? Did you want to be Luke or Han or Obi? Who did you want to be? Or Darth Vader?
Honestly, we talked about it a lot. Like when we were like messing around, like we didn't have lightsabers. We had sticks that were like lightsabers. A lot of people liked Han.
Yeah, see, I don't know where I would have been then.
Probably more people liked Han than Chewie. A lot of people liked Chewie. A fair amount of people liked Luke, but Han was cooler.
Han's definitely cooler, especially the first one. Farm Boy Luke's a little annoying, but when I watch it now, like Luke is the guy I want to be.
Well, just because he
but
has
that's
such
the
a
thing.
huge role later on.
Like I never knew here's just this goofy space movie, and here are these two dudes.
Yep.
So I thank you for your perspective there.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I'm gonna go. I won't do another. I'll go Red from Shawshank here. I'll go Red from Shawshank. We talked about him.
Yeah. He's. You could have named this category and this topic on Red.
There's another good Morgan Freeman number 2 that I don't know if either of us will pick, but Red from Shawshank is the best Morgan Freeman number 2, respectfully.
Yeah, we've had a lot of seriousness, so I just need a little bit of humor.
Okay. I know.
We're going to go Walter from Big Lebowski.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
And I knew you like Big Lebowski more than me. I haven't seen it lately.
Yeah.
But he's so funny.
I really like Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Walter's great.
Okay, so I will match your comedy. When
Sure.
you said comedy, I thought you were going to go with one of these guys here. So I will say you can go with anybody.
There's so many.
So I'll just address this. So Superbad.
Okay.
So there's 3 dudes, but so McLovin is not the alpha. One of the other two is the alpha, but it's hard to determine. Like they really are a Steph and KD like back and forth type 1A 1B guys.
Yep, agreed.
And McLovin would be the tertiary there for sure. Like he's the Draymond Green.
Are you picking McLovin?
If you would say McLovin is eligible, I think he's supporting both those guys.
I wrote down McLovin.
I have a McLovin shirt.
He was one of my picks.
I wore it multiple times a week,
Good.
so I'll pick McLovin.
Fair enough. I guess we're going to stick with the comedy theme, and I got to go with Frank the Tank from Old School.
Good pick.
Frank, just so funny. Is KFC still open? I got a big day tomorrow. Got to go to Home Depot. And 10 minutes later, he's naked with.
We're all going streaking, and like no one's behind
We're
him.
streaking in the quad.
So I will do the best bit in Old School. I watch this all the time. Just the 2-minute bit on YouTube. They're looking at one of the best trank guns on the market, and the dude who's got the trank gun is like talking about the trank gun. He's like, he can pierce the skin of a rhino and then he shoots it in. Will Ferrell shoots it in his neck. And
That's awesome.
yes, that's awesome. And then it's like,
What's his name? That character?
I forget.
Stifler from the American Pie movies.
And then Will Ferrell's like what? And the dude's like, you got a dart in your neck, man. And we're like, you're crazy. You're
crazy, man.
Watch Old School, because this is underrated. People don't know. My kids my age don't know Old School.
Oh my god, it's
Go
so
watch
funny.
Old School. Okay, I'll do another comedy. Give me Cameron.
Hang on. Oh, I picked Frank the Tank. Sorry, you're
Yeah.
Cameron. Okay.
Cameron Ferris Bueller.
Oh, you know what? I did not have him on my board, and that's a great pick.
And a perfect number 2. Wears the Gordie Howe jersey. He's gonna be at your side. He might contemplate it a bit, but then I'll go. Cameron Ferris Bueller.
Okay. I need a smart guy on the team. Just to, not that I've picked a lot of dumb guys, but Frank the Tank is not a rocket scientist.
Yeah,
Walter's
he weighs
not really
the
a
team
rocket
average
Yep.
down.
So in order to bump up that GPA a little bit, I got Jonah Hill from Moneyball.
That's a good. Yeah. So Jonah Hill. There's
It's
a lot.
good character, and he was not terribly well known back then. And he was fat, now he's skinny.
There's a lot of Jonah Hills, right? Like my favorite Jonah Hill would be the Peter Brand from Moneyball, but Braden would want the one from Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, that's also good.
So
I
there's a lot of
I
Jonah Hills.
enjoyed Wolf of Wall Street, but
I'm with you.
I don't. Oh, I got to see that one again.
People going crazy about it, and a lot of my buddies do. And I think it's good,
Yeah.
but it's not my favorite. That's a great pick. I love Moneyball.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with one of my favorites that I remember since I was a little kid. Short Round from Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah, good pick.
He's such a good number 2,
Yep.
and all the stuff surrounding that actor. Is super
And all
good.
the stuff coming back later. What did he win?
He won
Anything About Everything or whatever that movie is.
not quite the title. He won Best Supporting Actor in a couple of last year. But as Short Round, Short Round's a kung fu expert who can drive, and he's just so cool.
Like he's 8.
Yeah, he's really young.
How old is he in the movie?
I don't know. He's around there, and he's driving. Short Round, Temple of
Put
Doom.
blocks on his feet.
When I was a kid, when I would watch
You wanted
Temple
to be
of Doom,
Short Round.
I wanted to be Short Round. That's my
Yeah.
guy.
Again, there's so many good characters here. I think I want somebody who, when I'm tired and I'm going through a tough day, I want somebody who's going to carry me to the finish line. You're not going to love this pick, but Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings is a classic number 2. Underrated, got a little bit of crap, but then once the truth came out that he didn't eat the cookies and he was always there, we're going with Samwise Gamgee for Lord of the Rings.
So you have this agenda that I don't like Lord of the Rings. I do. They're like 9 hours of the trilogy, and I haven't watched them for a few years. Okay. So I wrote Samwise down because I do remember him being a great number 2.
Cool.
I'm going to go back and watch him before school starts.
Sure.
But I do like that pick. I will go with one that kind of inspired me to make this list here when you told me about it. Dr. Schultz from Django Unchained.
Yep, I had him.
Christoph Waltz, great character, great number 2 to Django. And he did win Best Supporting Actor that year. So bonus for Dr. Schultz. Yeah.
You get bonus points. I'm going to go old school with one that you wouldn't think of, but John Blutarsky from Animal House. Have you seen Animal House?
Yeah.
Okay, so people that have seen it, Isaac's age are not very common, but like Coach Rob is going to love this pick.
Yeah.
He was just so much fun, and this is 45 years ago. Animal House is maybe 79 or something.
I couldn't tell you the year, but it's probably late 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to watch John Belushi, right?
Yes. So I'll go with number 2 that I thought you'd pick. I'm just gonna pick him from a trilogy. There's not a specific movie. Alfred from the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, it's on my list.
If I had to pick one, it might be Rises. He's got a lot of moments in Rises.
Yeah, he does.
Especially when he thinks Batman or Bruce Wayne dies, and he just has this. He has a great scene. Alfred is just definition number 2.
He had lots of good sentences. He didn't have good speeches, but he was a great supporting guy.
No, he gets a couple speeches.
Yeah.
But he gets one like Bruce get dragged together, and then the Master Bruce, I failed you. He has 2 great bits. Alfred, Michael Caine, super underrated. He is him.
Okay, I've got a couple of the guys who you want on your side when you're going through some crap. Christopher Walken in Man on Fire, right?
That's good deep
and his speech about his texture, he some people paint, some people draw. No, Denzel kills, and he is currently painting his masterpiece.
Yeah, that's a great bit.
That's
a
a
really
good
good
speech.
bit. I didn't think about that one, but that's a perfect number 2 guy in the chair. So
didn't get a lot of screen time.
Should I go serious here or should I go goofy?
We need a bit of goofy.
Okay. Korg from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, you like... Yeah, it's funny.
Big
Korg, that guy's on from Denver, he's bad. Yeah.
Not sure what that was.
I don't know, but it's something like that.
Korg is the funny guy with the Aussie accent, the rock guy from the Thor movies. Really, really funny.
Yeah.
And he's a good... He's not in a ton, Ragnarok, but he's eligible. He's eligible.
Yeah, for sure he is.
Okay.
I think I got to go with Chang from Hangover.
Okay. Go ahead.
He's pretty funny. Like, you can debate that he's not so good. He did a couple of bad things, but generally he's got their back and he's with them. So I'm going Chang from Hangover.
So I think he's a bad guy. Especially
in one.
Guy? In one he is.
One he's a bad guy.
Well, he steals Doug and brings him the wrong Doug. We won't talk about that, but he brings the wrong Doug.
They did bring the wrong Doug.
I don't even think he's a number 2. I will pick the correct number 2. It's Alan.
Alan could certainly be. I thought about writing Alan down.
So the issue... So Alan was so good in the first Hangover that they made 2 sequels, and he was the main character in both the sequels. That's how good he was.
When he got Mike Tyson for the wedding, he said, no, it's just for tonight. We don't own him.
Yep. So Alan from Hangover, if you want to look at one-liners, like I think Dale Doback has a lot, but Alan's
good luck.
Like if you and I wasn't like that came out when I was like whatever 4 or 5. I don't remember that coming out.
Yep.
But I do remember the rise of Zach Galifianakis during like
for sure
my time getting into movies.
Let's go 4 more each.
Okay.
Okay, just because we could keep going for a while.
Sure.
I don't know how this fits in, but I'm gonna ask the panel about Samuel Jackson from Pulp Fiction.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. Go ahead.
I don't know if he's a primer, like. Because Pulp Fiction is all over the place and there's a whole bunch of different things going on, I don't know if he's a best actor, but I think he's a fabulous best supporting actor. I just love his lines and his matter-of-factness about everything and the burgers, and he's great.
So I will allow it.
Okay,
here's the issue with Pulp Fiction. You've got all these supporting guys.
It's like Kill Bill.
So like Bruce Willis. Like Bruce Willis has a supporting role in that movie, but he is the alpha in his story.
Yeah.
I would argue that Jules is the number 2 in his story. I think.
And honestly, I thought about writing down Jules too.
Well, Jules is Samuel L. Jackson.
Travolta. No. So who's the other guy?
Vincent Vega. Vincent Vega is John Travolta.
Okay.
And I think he's the main guy. Then Mr. Wolf. Like, how does he
again?
play?
I thought about the Wolf also.
How does he play into this? But I'll allow it because it's such a good movie. And
Wolf is a little like Christopher Walken in Man on Fire.
Well, Christopher Walken, Pulp Fiction. He has one scene, and it's like maybe the best scene in the movie. Where talks, just watch, right? It's a really good bit. I won't do it, but that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. So I'm gonna just okay. We're gonna have this conversation because you had a controversial one, The Godfather. So The Godfather.
I didn't know what to write down for The Godfather.
3 dudes got nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Godfather.
The first one?
In the first one. And I think
so
3 got
Pacino would have got nominated.
Pacino, Duvall, and Khan. All are great. If Pacino's eligible...
All are great.
I really do think Michael is the number 2 in the first Godfather. If that sentence makes sense.
I agree with you.
So I'm going to go with Al Pacino, yeah. Michael.
Michael Corleone, you cannot argue with him. He's great.
But then like in Godfather 2...
Like then it becomes...
Who's
a more
eligible?
Prominent role.
Like I think De Niro won Best Supporting for Godfather 2.
Yeah, because it was mostly like backstory when
Correct.
Vito Corleone was a younger guy.
So the Godfather movies, like that's when you look at Best Supporting guys, lots of candidates. I really like James Caan in it too. Like
okay.
I really like Sonny, but
so,
I'll pick Al Pacino.
Yeah, I need somebody to give me a speech when I'm feeling down. I'm getting Fortune from Rudy. 5 foot nothing. 100 nothing, hardly a speck of athletic ability, and you hung with the greatest football team in the land for 2 years.
Yeah, so
you don't have to prove nothing to anybody in your lifetime.
I think you've done the speech like 15 times on the pod,
but it's still good every time.
But I encourage it.
Yeah.
That's a great pick. That's not on my radar. That's a really good pick.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pick one that's not on your radar. So I have a couple cartoon characters written down.
Certainly not on my radar.
I'm gonna go with my guy, because I've loved him since I was a kid, Frozone, from The Incredibles.
I actually considered Frozone.
So that, if it's a cartoon guy that he considered, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Frozone is the number 2 to Mr. Incredible in the Incredible family. So I think he's eligible here.
I agree.
I love Frozone. He's my guy.
Okay. I need somebody to hit the bucket at the end of the game. Who am I getting? He's only got a few lines in the movie.
Jimmy Chitwood?
Jimmy Chitwood from Hoosiers.
I don't think of him as the number 2.
It.
And here's why I don't think of him as the number 2.
Because he hardly says anything.
No, because he's on the basketball team, and he's the best player on the basketball team.
Yeah, but he only said about 5 lines in the whole movie.
I guess.
I think it's time for me to play. But one thing, coach goes, I go. Coach stays, I stay.
All right, Caveman. Good pick. That's a goofy one.
It's a bit odd one, but I need somebody to hit a shot.
Do I go cartoon or no? I have another cartoon.
I tell you, I don't have a cartoon left on my list, so you're certainly welcome to take it.
Mike Wazowski, Monsters, Inc. A really good number 2 to Sully's number 1. Come on, bro. Monsters, Inc. is good.
It's not bad, actually. I watched Monsters, Inc. after you convinced me, within the last 6 or 8 months. Yeah.
And?
It's pretty entertaining, but there'd be literally 400 other movies I'd like to watch a second time again.
That's a really big number. It's definitely on 400. I love Monsters, Inc. Those are great movies. I can't wait for the third one if that ever happens. Okay, you go.
Joe Pesci from Goodfellas. You can debate that he's not so good. He's got good intentions, and he's the guy who you call when you take care of stuff, which is funny because he's like 5'2", but he's the toughest guy around.
I will allow this pick. That's a great pick. Joe Pesci in any movie, because he's
in any movie.
Like he's the number 2 in pretty much all of his movies except Home Alone. He's the 1A in the Home Alone movies.
Yeah.
But that's a really good pick. Great selection there.
Okay.
How many more do I have?
I don't know. 2.
Okay. I'm gonna go with.
So hard.
Okay. Rogue One. Is Chirrut eligible? Because he's the number 2 to the cool guy, but he's really not in it a ton. But when he's in it, we thought he was the coolest guy ever.
I think he counts.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick Donnie Yen from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Because Donnie Yen, or Donnie Yen from John Wick 4, any Donnie Yen I can get.
Yeah.
Ip Man is the definition of an alpha, but in Rogue One he's definitely the 2.
Should we put on the shirt?
We have Rogue One shirts. I grew out of mine, but respect.
I didn't grow out of mine.
Yeah, respect.
Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a controversial pick.
Yeah, I heard that one before.
It's Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny.
So I've never really seen this.
She won Best Supporting Actress, and she's actually a great character.
I've never seen it.
You should watch My Cousin Vinny.
That's Joe Pesci too, right?
Yep, Joe Pesci.
Okay.
So that's the connection, Joe Pesci connection. Those people that have watched Joe Pesci and My Cousin Vinny, he steals the show, but Marissa's awesome too.
I'll take your word for it.
Yep.
How many more do I have? 1 now or 2? What did you say?
Take one more.
We're going long, but that's fine. Rocky from Creed.
Oh, very good.
So Stallone got nominated Best Supporting Actor for the first Creed. It's probably his best performance, and he is definitely
He was
number
great.
2.
He was great in it.
So I get Rocky and Apollo, and they're both supporting. That's pretty cracked.
That is pretty good.
Give me Rocky.
That's a good one too there. Late round.
Thank you.
Okay. Again, a pick that certainly not a lot of people have on their draft board.
What'd you do, bro?
No.
Young Sheldon?
No. The movie Castaway.
That's stupid, dude.
I got Wilson.
Dude, that's stupid.
Actually, somebody at work said that to me.
Okay, he doesn't. It's not a thing. It's not a being.
He's there when you need him, even though he's not real. Tom Hanks was in a lonely place.
Yep.
He needed something. He's got a volleyball. If that's all you got, you make the best of it. And Wilson was there. It's fictitious. It's almost like Beautiful Mind, the guy's roommate.
Yeah, good.
Doesn't
good.
real.
Tyler
It's not
Durden.
real.
Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden. There you go.
He's not
No,
eligible.
no,
He's definitely not eligible for many reasons.
not
I
eligible.
thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get 1 or 2 more. What'd you say?
One more.
Okay. I'm going to get one that you should have picked. Henry Jones Sr. from Last Crusade.
Oh, how did I not pick that?
I thought as a dad you would totally pick him.
Sure.
He is so... Sean Connery is
The penitent
awesome.
one will pass. The penitent one will pass. That's so good.
The best bit at the... Right, Indiana. Love Last Crusade. Love Henry Jones.
Yeah.
You should have picked him there.
I should have picked him.
I'm kind of shocked he fell, so I'll pick Sean Connery.
Okay.
I'm done.
I think I started, so I think we're done.
You can recap.
I think this is a good segment. We're going to do it again, but it'll be bad guys.
Sure.
So not your primary bad guy.
Or maybe a couple good guys, because there's still good guys out there.
There's still some good guys. Just one more that I wanted to include.
Yeah.
Ed Harris from Apollo 13.
Oh, that's
when
good.
he's doing that speech
Yeah.
about, everybody's, this is an order. And then Ed Harris says, or this could be our greatest moment. Like, he's great with the speeches. So Ed Harris from Apollo 13.
Do you want to recap the folks you got, or did you not write
No,
them
I didn't
down?
really keep track of that.
So, okay.
Well, I mean, I crossed off everybody. Some of them, we'll put it on Instagram, but here's the thing. You want to listen to this segment and then just jot down in your phone under your list of movies that you should see again. You're like, oh, I need to see Animal House.
I guess it's important to know any movie we mentioned, we probably love here.
Pretty much, yeah. Most of these movies that we picked are either great movies recognized by everyone or not as well-known movies that we think are good.
Looking at my list, I love all of the movies that I named, so you guys should watch all of those. And he named some good ones too.
Yeah. Big Lebowski, My Cousin Vinny,
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a great rewatchable.
People don't love that one.
Don't
Like
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, it's like a lot of nothing. I still love it, but there's a lot of people that don't like it.
Okay.
Looking at you, Matt Wismer. Sus for that, right?
Matt, you're sus.
Sus for that. Okay, wrap things up.
Okay, thanks everybody. Now we're going to get back on our regular rotation because there's stuff happening. This is a longer episode, but we did make it under 60 minutes. If you have topics, you want things you want to talk about, please let us know. We love you, appreciate you. We support you, fans. See you soon.